Let's be clear. You've been deceived your whole life. You were taught that forgiveness is a virtue, that letting go of offense is a noble act, that forgetting betrayals is a path to inner peace. You were raised to be docile, to accept wounds with a forced smile, while inside you bleed out. But the truth is different, much harsher, much more uncomfortable. Forgiveness does not strengthen you. It weakens you. Think about it for a second. How many times have you forgiven only to receive the same stab in the back again? How many times have you let go of resentment only to be betrayed again? And every time you do it, you erode yourself a little more. No, it's not strength. It's naivety disguised as virtue. It's the excuse the weak use to justify themselves in front of the strong. Memory, on the other hand, is another story. Memory is your armor. It's the dagger hidden under your sleeve. Remembering every offense, every betrayal, every poisonous word they tried to stab you with is what keeps you awake. Memory turns you into a strategist. It allows you to anticipate. It prevents you from tripping over the same stone twice. Blind compassion leaves you defenseless. Memory protects you. We live in a world that rewards cunning and punishes naivety. The naive fall time and time again because they want to believe in universal redemption. They cling to the fantasy that everyone deserves a second chance. But reality doesn't work that way. The real world is a silent battlefield, where those who survive are the ones who don't forget. Those who learn. Those who mentally record every stab, not to mourn, but to sharpen their own weapons. What's the point of forgiving someone who sees your compassion as a license to abuse you again? Unconditional forgiveness is the open door to continued abuse. Opportunists feed off those who forget. They lick their lips with every act of forgiveness you grant because they know it's only a matter of time before they take advantage of you again. Society repeats to you that you must forgive to heal. It's a mantra that hides behind the fear of facing the truth. Not everyone deserves your mercy. There are wounds that must hurt because that pain is the lesson that saves you the next time. There are betrayals that cannot be forgotten, because remembering them is what keeps you firm when they knock on your door again. Listen to me carefully. It's not about living consumed by resentment. It's not about letting rage gnaw at you from the inside. It's about using memory as a tool of power, storing every offense in a perfectly organized mental file. Not to suffer them, but to study them, to understand the patterns, to recognize the signs before it's too late. Powerful people don't forgive blindly. They don't forget the dirty tricks of their adversaries. They don't ignore the betrayals that marked their path. They file them away, analyze them, and use them to plot their next strategies. Memory is the foundation of their empire. They don't trust the smile of the enemy turned ally, because they know smiles also hide daggers. Do you want to be respected? Do you want to be feared instead of pitied? Remember, ingrain in your mind every moment they failed you. Make your scars a navigation map. Let each wound point to a path you will never take again, because those who forget their wounds are doomed to repeat them. And there's no greater display of weakness than eternally stumbling over the same lies. I'll tell you plainly, memory is not only a defense mechanism, it's a precision weapon. It allows you to stay ahead of those who seek to take advantage of your good faith. It allows you to see the storm coming before others even notice the first raindrops. It always places you 2 steps ahead. And here's the trap you must avoid. Don't let them convince you that remembering is living in the past. That's a convenient lie for those who want you to lower your guard. Remembering is not stagnation. It's moving forward with your eyes wide open. It's walking through life with a mental file that alerts you to dangers disguised as opportunities. Memory gives you the advantage that forgiveness could never offer. The one who forgives without thinking becomes an easy target. The one who remembers becomes an unsolvable enigma to their enemies. They become the person who won't be surprised twice by the same trap. Do you know what's truly terrifying for those who once betrayed you? Not that you confront them directly, not that you seek immediate revenge. What truly chills their blood is knowing that you remember. That, in silence, without scandals or confrontations, you keep an impeccable record of each of their dirty moves. Because that means that when they least expect it, when they think they've deceived you again, you'll be ready. You'll be the person who doesn't forget, the one who feeds on scars to reinforce their armor, the one who doesn't need to shout their revenge because their mere memory is a latent threat. And believe me, true respect comes from there. From the certainty that you're not someone who lets themselves be trampled without consequences. So forget the sugary discourse of forgiveness as the supreme virtue. Don't let them sell you the fantasy that forgetting is healing. Healing is remembering without pain. Yes, but remembering, after all. Healing is storing every experience as a lesson that makes you invulnerable. The great strategists of history, the leaders who changed the course of the world, were not built on indiscriminate forgiveness. They were built on fierce memory, on the understanding that every betrayal is another brick in the fortress of their character, on the conviction that trust, once broken, is never given away again. Do you want power? Remember. Do you want respect? Don't forget. Do you want to be indestructible? Make your memory a weapon, because those who forget are doomed to be pieces in someone else's game. But those who remember are the ones who move the pieces. Look around you. The world is full of people who forget, who grant forgiveness after forgiveness, hoping that this time things will be different. And meanwhile, the cunning ones, the ones who file every move away, build empires on the naivety of others. Don't be one of them. Don't be another pawn on the board. Be the player who never forgets a move, the strategist who learns from every defeat and turns it into victory. Because at the end of the road, it's not the one who forgives the most who wins, it's the one who remembers the best. Make your memory your greatest ally. Turn every betrayal into knowledge, every offense into strength, every scar into a shield. And walk through life with the certainty that no matter how many times they try to bring you down, as long as you remember, they can never destroy you. And remember this, because it's crucial. Memory is not only survival, it's mastery, it's absolute power. It's the ability to anticipate, to protect yourself, to govern your destiny without depending on the mercy of others. So don't forgive out of habit. Don't forget for comfort. Always remember. Because those who remember are the ones who, in the end, write history. And here is where most never look. Memory not only protects you from falling into other people's traps, but if you know how to use it well, it elevates you. It makes you more than just a player in the game. It transforms you into the silent reference that no one dares underestimate. Because there's something that most forget, ironically, those who remember also become the collective memory of others. Look, true power doesn't only lie in acting, it lies in being remembered as someone not to be taken lightly. When you are the person who doesn't forget, when your responses aren't immediate but are accurate, others start mentally writing a record about you. And that record becomes legend, a warning, an obligatory respect. It's curious how human psychology works. People fear more the one who doesn't react immediately than the one who explodes right away. The one who explodes is predictable, manageable, easy to provoke, and easy to calm. But the one who stays silent, the one who remembers in silence, becomes a mystery. And what is not understood is respected or feared. Or both. There lies your hidden power in the ability to record every detail and let others know. Not just to suspect it, to feel it. That when they look at you, even without saying a word, they sense that you don't forget. That every offense is filed away in your mind like a debt-pending payment. Not necessarily in a violent way. I'm not talking about primitive revenge. I'm talking about strategic justice. Because you don't need to settle scores immediately for people to stay on guard. The most effective threat is the one that hovers in the air, the one that is never announced with fanfare, but whose shadow is constant. Those who forget don't cast shadows. Those who remember cast a shadow so long that others walk carefully, even under the sun. And it's not just power over others, it's also mastery over yourself. Remembering keeps you firm. It connects you with your unbreakable principles. Because forgetting not only erases offenses, it also erases the lessons that once saved you. When you forget, you become malleable, shapeable, a leaf in the wind of circumstances. Memory is the backbone of your character, the glue of your identity. Without memory, you fragment, you dilute in the current of days, you become irrelevant. But with memory, you build a solid narrative of yourself. A narrative that not only sustains you, but elevates you above the mediocrity of those who live with an empty mind of useful memories. Now listen to this carefully, because it's crucial. Remembering is not just about other people's betrayals. It's also about remembering who you were before they tried to mold you. Remembering your original purpose, your initial hunger, that primal spark that ignited your ambition before the outside voices tried to suffocate it. Memory is also an act of rebellion against the forgetting of your own essence. Because there's something worse than forgiving others. Forgiving yourself for having betrayed yourself, for having yielded to comfort, for having lowered your guard, for having become, even for a moment, the weak version you swore you would never be. Don't absolve yourself so quickly. Don't give yourself free passes. Don't be your own defense lawyer when you should be your unforgiving judge. Remembering your own mistakes without anesthesia is the fuel that keeps the machine of your evolution alive. Do you know why so many people repeat their failures? Because they forgive themselves too quickly. Because they forget the discomfort of pain, the humiliation of the fall. They convince themselves that the best thing is to turn the page, as if burning the past were a way to start anew. But burning the past only leaves you without a map. The true map of progress is in the ashes you keep, not in the ones you destroy. When you remember your missteps with brutal clarity, you don't become a slave to the past. You become the architect of a fortified future, because every well-remembered mistake becomes a solid brick that strengthens your path. Memory is uncomfortable, yes. No one said carrying the truth would be pleasant, but here comes the paradox. Only the one who embraces the discomfort of remembering is able to walk lightly. The one who forgets, on the other hand, drags the curse of eternal repetition. And pay attention, because this is vital. In circles of power, those who remember not only protect themselves, but they become the guardians of the stories others want to bury. They transform into the uncomfortable chroniclers, into the witnesses who unsettle with their mere presence. Because memory is also a form of leadership. It's not the one who forgets the group's mistakes who leads. It's the one who remembers, who exposes them when necessary, who refuses to let collective wounds be painted as false victories. That's why, always remember, your memory is not a dead weight. It's your sword and shield. It's the torch that illuminates the way when others walk blindly. It's the tool that transforms every fall into an invaluable lesson. Let them call you resentful. Let them accuse you of keeping the accounts too meticulously. It doesn't matter. Let them talk. Let them point at you for not forgetting. Other people's ignorance is the lesser price to pay for the absolute clarity you will have. Because while they sleep soundly in the comfort of forgetting, you stay awake in the vigil of memory. And in that vigil is where those who leave an indelible mark are forged. So never forget. Memory not only keeps you safe, memory makes you a legend. And now listen to this because it's probably the most important thing you'll hear in a long time. There's something that almost no one tells you. Memory, when used well, not only protects you from external enemies. Memory, true memory, protects you from your worst enemy, yourself. Because there will come a point in your life when it won't be others who sabotage you. It will be you. Your doubts, your moments of weakness, your temptation to drop your arms just before victory. It's then that your memory becomes your lifeline. On those gray days, when motivation disappears and uncertainty gnaws at you, remembering everything you've endured, every betrayal that made you stronger, every scar that hardened you, is what will keep you standing. It saves you from falling into self-pity. It rescues you from the abyss of personal forgetfulness, because the one who forgets who they were gets lost forever. The one who remembers every step, even if it hurts, always finds their way back to themselves. Memory reminds you why you started. It reminds you what you swore you would never allow again. It reminds you of the sleepless nights, the silent defeats you didn't post, the internal battles no one celebrated, but that forged you like iron and fire. So engrave this deeply in your mind. Every time you doubt, every time the temptation to forget whispers in your ear, remember that you didn't come this far to become someone easy to erase. You came to build something that neither time nor forgetfulness can destroy. And I'll leave you with one last reflection, one that I want you to chew on for hours after you finish this video. People forget words, but they never forget how you made them feel. And when you are the one who remembers, who acts from the precise memory of every crucial moment, you provoke an emotion in others that doesn't dissolve with time. The certainty that with you, no one plays games. They will respect you, not out of irrational fear, but out of silent admiration for your indestructible integrity. You will be the uncomfortable mirror that reminds them that true strength is not in comfortable forgetfulness, but in the uncomfortable memory that forges giants. So now I ask you, do you really want to be one of those who erase the past to feel better for a few days? Or do you prefer to carry your story like a warrior carries their armor, knowing that every scratch on it tells the legend of their survival? You choose. And if you've made it this far, it's because you know this message was for you. So I want to propose something. Leave a phrase in the comments that defines your own fight against forgetfulness. Write, "My memory is my power." That way, I'll know you're one of those who don't forget, one of those who refuse to live with their eyes closed. And of course, if this video stirred something inside you, if you feel that this was exactly what you needed to hear to open your eyes, subscribe. But don't do it out of routine. Do it because you know you won't find the comfortable lies that numb you here. You'll find the harsh truths that wake you up. See you in the next video, but remember, it won't be just any goodbye. Because while others say goodbye and fall into oblivion, you and I will keep recording every moment in memory to build something that even death cannot erase. Until next time, or better yet, until the next lesson life wants to teach us. Because here, no one forgets, no one forgives blindly, and no one, absolutely no one, surrenders.